Okay, so let's talk about Avatar: The Way of Water. It's been 13 years, and here we are with a new film from James Cameron in the Avatar universe. Before we get any further ahead, I want to let you know that we are running a giveaway. All you have to do to enter this giveaway is be subscribed to the channel and comment below your favorite movie of 2022. It could even be Avatar: The Way of Water. Let me know. On December 25th, we will announce a winner, but let's talk. And we are also trying to fund our horror movie we are currently trying to get done. This is on Indiegogo in the link below. It is a horror slasher film, and we will talk more about it next week, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, you can go to the Indiegogo link below, share it any way you can help. It helps a lot, whether it's sharing, monetary, whatever. But let's get into this ending and what it means. So pretty much Avatar: Way of Water picks up a little after the first Avatar. We have Jake and Neytiri already having a family. Some are their own children, others are coming from different places. As we know, their daughter Kiri comes from the scientist that Sigourney Weaver actually does play in the original Avatar, and it turns out that at her time of demise in that movie, there was actually a moment where she gave birth to this child that is now Kiri, that they have taken as their own. And then on the other side of things, we have Spider, who is the son of Courtridge, who, as we know, is the character played by Stephen Lang, who was the main antagonist in the first film, and now is another antagonist in this one. And James Cameron actually said that Courtridge would be pretty much along all of the plot sequels coming up, the main antagonist throughout the whole thing. So we see in this movie that Jake and his family ultimately have to relocate from where they are after the humans come back and are trying to pull the same shit they've been doing since the first Avatar. And Courtridge actually returns now, even though he had been killed in the first Avatar. It turns out they were able to clone him and put him into an Avatar body of sorts, and now he's back for revenge. Even though he doesn't have those memories of what happened to him or what Jake did and all of that, he still is sort of having this hate towards him. Now he comes to find out that Spider is indeed his son, and he sort of is a little bit like, I don't like him as my son, but I'm going to use him to figure out how I can get more into this culture and ultimately take it down. So that's pretty much his big plan right here, but we see that he sort of starts to feel a little bit of a bond here. Now Jake and his family do relocate, like I said. They try to find this new tribe of sorts that's sort of more in tune with water, the way of water. That's where we find this whole thing happen. And we see them trying to adapt to this new lifestyle and really appreciate also this new way of living, sort of in a spiritual way of sorts as well. And ultimately, though, they do have to come into war with what's going on with Courtridge and the other humans, and them trying to do all of these horrible things to the environment and all that, as we know from the first Avatar. So we're still continuing with this warfare of sorts between the Na'vi and as well as the humans. Now, by the end of it all, it is basically we have Courtridge, and then we have the family from Jake and Neytiri sort of trying to fight and try to keep their home. And it all comes down to when Courtridge takes Kiri and then Neytiri takes Spider, and it's like a standoff of sorts, and they're trying to see who's gonna give up first and playing chicken of sorts with these kids. Ultimately, Neytiri shows she's not playing around, and she actually slices a little bit of Spider's chest. And this ultimately leads to Courtridge realizing, hey, I kind of care about this kid a bit. And ultimately, that's what leads into the next part, where we see that Jake and Courtridge have this battle. Ultimately, it seems that they are killed Courtridge. He's drowned of sorts, but we find out that that's not the case. We actually see that Spider does save him, but he doesn't save him in the way that we think, because he wants to be with him. It's more or less that he didn't just want to kill someone, so he just saved him out of pity of sorts. So it's going to be interesting to see what Courtridge makes of this, and also Spider's feelings after this when we get further into these movies. Is he sort of building a bond of sorts with Courtridge, or is he just being a nice person and just couldn't bear witness somebody dying like that, even though we see also that Jake and Neytiri have lost their older son as well throughout this whole battle of sorts. We now know that Courtridge is probably going to come back with a vengeance, whether he brings another army, because I don't think the army he had is there anymore, or he's going to fly solo now. So we'll definitely see with that. Also, Kiri is something I think that is going to be explained a little bit more. We don't really get a full explanation of how the scientist was able to have a child. It didn't say if they were pregnant at the time of coming into the Avatar of the Na'vi, or what was the whole thing with it, or is it something that happened because they were able to speak to the god of sorts. So So that's kind of like questions up in the air, and we'll talk about that in the theory video for the next Avatar movie. I'll make a video about that probably this weekend, so stay tuned for that. But pretty much at the end, I think that's the reason that Spider did save Courtridge, is because he felt bad for him. I think there might be a little bit of a bond feeling as well deep down, but I don't think it's truly there as much as Courtridge has maybe for Spider himself, knowing that that is maybe his son and all of that. So I think that Courtridge maybe might develop a spot for Spider, and as we go further into the movies, want him to be on his side. So we could definitely see a little bit of Spider being conflicted about his family, whether it's with Jake or with Courtridge, and sort of being in the middle of this division of sorts. We see that the family does end up staying with the people of the water, and so this basically leads us to believe that they will be training now in order to sort of prevent what happened in this movie to happen again. But Courtridge is probably going to come back with an even bigger vengeance, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So basically this movie just set up a big war that is coming. This was basically the battle to initiate it again after having peace for so long, and now this battle is initiating a larger scale war, and Courtridge, I think, is going to come back with a bigger vengeance for sure. They've already shot Avatar 3, and I think it's going to be coming out in a year and a half or so, so we don't have to wait as much as we did for this one. Apparently James Cameron also is already getting Avatar 4 and 5 ready, so it sounds like he's just trying to make an epic saga of sorts, and we'll see if it pays off or not. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on Avatar The Way of Water. What do you think about the movie, the ending, and all of that? Do you think Spider's going to ultimately turn on Jake and his family and go with his father, Courtridge? Or do you think that Spider's going to become the hero and be the only one that can take down Courtridge at the end of it all? What do you think about Kiri and her connections to all of these things? Do you think that she is a higher being of sorts that has come to save the Na'vi? Or do you think that she is just going to be this prodigy warrior of sorts as well, that is the only one that can take down Spider if Spider does end up turning with Courtridge or Courtridge himself? I think Kiri is going to develop into this heroine of sorts that is going to be a larger thing than we expect her to be, and I'm excited to see where that definitely leads into, and I'm curious to see where Avatar 3 picks up, if it's going to be right after this movie, or do we have a time jump like we had in this one from the original Avatar? So let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Anyways, as always, that's going to do it for me. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and comment below your favorite movie of 2022. That gets you an entry into our giveaway, which is going to be on December 25th. Make sure you also support our movie we are currently making in the link below on Indiegogo. It's a horror slasher film. You can read more about it right there, and we have a teaser for it as well. So anyways, as always, I'll see all of you next time. Like I said, we're on the road to 30,000 subscribers. We're trying to get there before the end of the year. That's our goal. And as always, I'll see you next time. Stay safe.